Hi, Bill. Hi, Jill. First, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for your time and consideration on this project, this campaign. And then also thank you for time earlier in the meeting today. And as promised, I wanted to share with you a recap. And in this video, I want to give you, kind of an overview on what it's like to work with us, some of the tools, some of the resources, some of the strategy that goes into it. And prior to that, I just wanted to give you a quick, overview of some of the things that we looked at, which, based upon my conversation with Bill, a very brief conversation with Jill, and some initial research, I really see there's a tremendous amount of opportunity, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to work on this particular project. So let me just go through a little bit of our findings, then I'll kind of jump into the strategy, and I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible or as entertaining as possible, if that is even possible. So anyway, tire fill from Arco Pathway. I did a little bit of research around, what your Google profile looks like in terms of what people see when they do search for your company. I also did some looking around the website in terms of the pages, in terms of the content. Looked at some online reviews and your social media footprint or your social media presence. So it's not anything that's earth-shattering to you, but you can see that you only have about 40 pages in Google, 51 in Bing. You have a good amount of inbound links. Links are very, very important. That's pretty much like what the internet says about you. And so, having a good solid link portfolio of good, credible other websites linking to you helps build your credibility and helps your ranking for specific keywords that you want to rank for on Google search. We also looked at TrustFlow and some details from Open Site Explorer. Nothing too earth-shattering there to report. Just, it shows a lot of opportunity. Social media looks like you're active on Facebook with 104 likes. You have a Twitter account, 81 Twitter followers. LinkedIn, I analyzed Bill's profile on LinkedIn. Matt Hansen, Chuck Capps, Bob Gibson, Michael Fullen, just to kind of see who the influencers are on that particular platform. Looks like combined it's roughly around 1,200 connections. So obviously there's some room for growth there, and then some room for improvement. And then the LinkedIn connections related to your business page or any of your other mentions was 95. Google's a little bit light. YouTube, there's definitely some really good opportunity to tell a neat story on YouTube. So let's kind of dive in. It's just stuff at a high level. I didn't really dive too much into competitors, but obviously that's important as well. And I understand you are the market share leader, so maybe that's not as important, but we'll touch a little bit on that. So I just want to give you an idea of what it's like to work with us. We have two primary tools that we work with. One is called Basecamp, and we've been working with Basecamp for over 10 years now. And really what Basecamp is a project management tool. And we like it because it's very, very collaborative, very, very easy to use. Of all the clients, hundreds of clients that I've put onto Basecamp, no one's ever needed any training. It integrates into your email really, really well, and it's all web-based. I'll kind of walk you through a little bit on Basecamp here, give you a little flavor for that. Then also I wanted to get into what we call our digital media marketing system. And this is a real-time Google Doc that we consistently work on day in, day out, week in, week out, month after month. And one thing that we like about Google Docs, it's not the best, most user-friendly experience, but we try to be as transparent as we possibly can throughout the entire campaign with all of our communication, letting you know what's happening at all times. And Google Docs is pretty cool because multiple people can all work on the sheet at a time, whether it be my team or whether it be you. Notifications, you can say, hey, if anybody updates this doc, give me a daily digest, or let me know right now if anybody's working on it. That way, at least I know that stuff is moving forward and moving in the right direction. So Google Docs is also integrated into Basecamp. And then Basecamp is also real time, whereas you can get notifications of, to-do items as they're being checked off, or you can get a daily digest, or you can just turn off notifications altogether. But recommend, being, staying up to date on it. So Basecamp's really easy. You have discussions and then you have threads associated. I'm just looking at an example project here. Maybe I'll flip over to show you a campaign that's live, and so you can kind of see all the discussions that are taking place. That, or maybe as a follow-up from this video, we could do like a live demo session, which would be more applicable to you. But discussions are pretty cool. So you could start a new discussion, and then just involve the people that you want on the project, or just let me choose who's involved with it. And then you have threads related to that discussion. So it's, things don't get lost in email. I know we've had our email challenges. So the thread is pretty cool. You can keep track of all the discussions. Then we also have to-do items, and I can walk a little bit through this. We have these pre-packaged to-do items just to make sure we're looking at everything and everything is getting checked off. And you can see some of these, are pretty basic, like set up a Gmail account for the client. And this is important, and you can either provide us with your enterprise-wide Gmail account, or we can work from a Gmail account that we set up. But this helps because we set this up for you, you own it, and then we just tie ourselves into as administrators of that particular Gmail account, which works really, really well in terms of us being able to set up profiles for you, or for us to keep track of, say, social media interactions. So there's some neat things that you can do with Gmail, and we never delete anything. So it tends to be a database. You get maybe 100,000 messages in there after a couple of years of working with us. If you ever want to say, hey, when did this person start following me on Twitter, you can just do a search on it, and it's pretty cool. But it's just, as you can kind of scroll down the list here, you can see setting up all of your hyper local profiles, all your industry specific profiles. This is just really the foundation. And as we talked about, there are some key building blocks that we want to put in place, around your digital footprint, and building a good foundation. So then therefore we can expand upon that. Then we have somewhat of a master list here, which is just making sure you have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a LinkedIn, Google Plus, Yahoo, Yelp, Merchant Circle, insider pages, and this list goes on, even to like some social bookmarking sites like Reddit and Dig and Delicious. And this is also really important, which I'll probably touch on. But as you create content, you want to have audience to share that with. And a lot of times there are, active people on these platforms, and then also it gives you good syndication. Think about it like a newspaper. You could have the best editors and photographers in the world, but if that paper is not being syndicated to the households that it serves, or getting in the hands of the readers, there's no way it's ever going to be seen. This is also a good form of a solid form of link building, which builds your credibility online. So that's the to-do list, and then we create ongoing to-do lists on a monthly basis, which it gives us the ability to iterate and strategize on a monthly basis, and then execute from there. Text documents is just like it sounds. It's just a text document. We keep track of all your contact information here, voice of the company, your key accounts, your website admin. Pretty self-explanatory. You have docs. You can also add files here. So if you're uploading a video or pictures or any file assets, can all be stored here, and you can have conversations associated with them. That's pretty cool. And then just the last area that I'm going to show you is a little bit more advanced, but it's called events, which is just we use this as our editorial calendar. So this gives you the ability to say, okay, the month of June or whatever it might be, we're going to focus in on this particular topic, whether it be customer testimonials or whatever it might be. And then you can set up your calendar saying, okay, we want to have a blog post going out on, say, the 19th. Here's a great topic for it. And then you can use this in various ways, or even updating us of hey, we're going to be out of the office this week because it's a trade show, whatever it might be. And then calendar settings, you can sync it with your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar. And so Basecamp is pretty powerful. And as things are getting done, as things are getting checked off, or as things are getting assigned to various people on the project, everybody's notified. Nothing ever gets lost in email. Everything is captured here in the system. And then also from your email, if you're sending an email to somebody, you can BCC Basecamp, so then the conversation is also captured there. Pretty cool, pretty self-explanatory. So then I want to jump over to the digital media marketing system. And here you can see the tabs at the bottom. We have all of these various tabs work in sequence together, which I'll give you a high-level overview. It all starts with having goals, or what we call KPIs, associated with the campaign. Break those out on a quarterly basis, and this can probably be filled out by you or in collaboration with us. And we can, the fact that it's digital, we can track and measure anything in terms of, phone calls, in terms of conversion to, opt into, emails, whatever our call to actions are associated with our content, we can track and measure that, put those in there as KPIs. We can even get down to revenue and cost per transaction. Maybe I'll flip over to a live client so you can kind of get a sense of what that looks like. Then we create a monthly dashboard of the previous month, kind of like your P&L statement. But along the left-hand side, we keep track of, at a high level traffic. So how many visits you're getting, are those via organic search, via paid search, via social? From a search perspective, how many pages, how many new pages. Red means that it's been declined, green means that it's been increased. And this is just some example client data. I'm not even sure if it's real data or not, but just a quick example. Then you have your website, which is the number of impressions that you're getting. That means you're showing up in Google. This has more to do with how users are using the site. How many pages are they visiting, how much time are they spending, what's the current bounce rate, and then social, just some high level things, how many fans do you have, how many likes do you have, how many Twitter followers, how many LinkedIn connections, and then conversion, that goes back to the monthly, to the quarterly goals, keeping track of whether it be leads or email opt-ins or sales, whatever it might be. But this just gives you one place, and it's kind of a mirror of Google Analytics. But if you want to look at a 6-month snapshot, just how we're doing on just some high-level key metrics, gives you a pretty good idea. So that's more, around monthly management or, strategic planning. Now I want to kind of jump into more tactical type things, and you can see the progression on how this spreadsheet works. So the first thing we do is to really get to know your business, get to know your competitors, get to know the landscape. And even if you do have pretty much the entire market share, competitors are still showing up for search results. So you might not see them as competitors, but based upon what your audience is searching for, they may still be competitors. For instance, I haven't, I'd get some of this information from you. I just looked at one, Tire Shield, and you could see that, they have a pretty decent looking website and a little bit active on social media. But competitive analysis is pretty important. And just as we talked about before, when we looked at your business at a high level, we'll look at how many visitors a particular competitor is getting to their website. What's their page rank, which is a scale of 1 to 10 from Google. How much content do they have? What's the quality of the content on their website? How many inbound links do they have? How much trust do they flow through? How many keywords are they currently ranking for? What is their current pay-per-click budget if they're doing any of that at all? What are the top 5 keywords that their website is currently ranking for? What is their social media presence on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and Pinterest? And then we get into reviews and what their overall strategy is. And that way we'll have a good idea of what the landscape looked like. What else is neat about this is you can say, okay, show me, of all these competitors, who has the most amount of inbound links and where are they getting their links from? Or show me who's most active on Facebook, most active on Twitter. So moving on next, after we get a really good idea of the competitive landscape, we'll do extensive keyword research around what people are searching for and how much search volume there is for this particular list of keywords. We also dive a little bit deeper into the competitiveness of a particular keyword and the return on investment based upon the number of advertisers that they're receiving on a keyword. Next thing we do is we spend a lot of time understanding your target market personas or your target market. And we really try to identify, 3 or 4 of them. We even give each one of them a name. This is just an example document, but give each one of them a name. Then we try to understand as best we can the age, the gender, the industry, the location, the geography, their current titles. What are their psychographic descriptions? In other words, like what's their the makeup of their biography? What are some of their pain points that they're experiencing? What are they often heard saying? What are some search terms that they currently use? What's some industry logo that you might potentially hear them say or hear them use? Where do they hang out online? So we really try to dig deep into developing 3 or 4 of those personas, which is a nice segue. I'll recap a little bit. After you understand your target market, you understand what they're currently searching for, you understand who they are, it segues nicely into creating content for them. And for us, there's really different, 3 types of content that all fall into, the funnel here. Then we have the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and bottom funnel. Just some examples of the type of content that you can create. And as Jill mentioned and Bill also alluded to, content should not be a problem because the company's been around for so long. They dominate so much of the market share. And in terms of videos and pictures and articles and white papers and case studies, I understand. I haven't seen it, but I understand that there's a lot of that out there. So that would play very nice into making sure that content is prepared in such a way that it speaks to what people are searching for, and it also speaks to the target market personas that you're going to be going after. So just give you a quick example here. The top of the funnel type pieces of content are either white papers or guides or ebooks or videos or even checklists. Middle of the funnel, as we get closer to the buying, turning them into a customer or a repeat customer is, testimonials or, videos of people out in the field, downloads, catalogs, brochures. And then bottom of the funnel is more aggressive, call to action, getting people to fill in, either buyer's guide, whatever it might be. Moving along, the continuum here is our strategy. Let me flip over to a live project here. And this is one of our clients. I'll see if I can use an example here of them. Let's see, creating content. So here you can see their top of their funnel and then their blog content. Green means that it's been posted, yellow means that it's currently working on. And the way that we structure our brainstorming of content and the way that we get content written is the same way we would build a page, a blog post on the internet. So you have the campaign level, and then you have the title. The title is actually the it's actually the meta title, which actually lives here in the browser, and it also shows up on Google. Let me show you a quick example just so we're on the same page. Title is right here, Tire Fill from Arnco Pathway. So this blue part turns purple if you click on the blue part is actually the title. This here is the description. So title lives in the browser, it lives in the tab, it also is what's shared, it's a little snippet that's shared on social media when you pass a link through. So your title needs to speak to exactly your target market persona and what they are potentially searching. It also is a headline, so it also needs to include some intention for a click-through. Think of like BuzzFeed and how they write their titles, or think about a magazine when you look at the cover. Those are all the different titles. So title, very important. We write the title, we write the description for what the piece of content is all about. Think about this as a blog post. Which persona, is it for Frank or is it for Mary? What keywords is Frank and Mary going to be searching to type to find this content? And then H1, this column here, this is actually the first headline that appears on the page. So you have your title, then you usually have a paragraph to support that, then you have a headline, and then you usually have bullet points underneath that or some type of interactive content to make sure that it's appealing to the eye. So you have one headline, and then you have a second headline. And using headlines, H1 tags, makes it easy for people to read, and then also search engines, as Google is indexing your content, picks up on the headlines. And then the last, each piece of your content should have a call to action, which is, hey, if you like this article, check out this article. If you like this content, or if you like this, tweet it, share it, Facebook it, like it, or subscribe to our email list, or download, whatever. Call to action is very, very important. That's a piece that's an aspect most people miss. So we go through this whole planning process, we build up all of these ideas, and now we have a schedule that we put it into utilizing Basecamp. And then with all of this brainstorming here and all of these ideas, it gets very easy for a copywriter to come in, somebody on my team to come in, and they know the keywords, they know the headlines, and they just need to create the unique content to support all of those elements. It's really, really powerful. So next we move over to publish content, and after content is published, you want to make sure that it's getting eyeballs. Nothing is worse than a blog post that has never been exposed to the target market that it was written for. It's kind of like having a newspaper without having the syndication to the homes for people to actually read it. And that is where your online profiles come in, which you can see an example here of online profiles. You can see close to 100 online profiles that have been built for this particular client. Some are in the social media marketing space, some are in the social bookmarking, some are in local or business directories, some are on very specific industry specific blogs or sites or social platforms. And the idea is, as you create this amazing, compelling content, you now have places to share it, which then bring visitors back, bring search engine back, bring relevancy back to those particular keywords that we've already done research on. The next is we create evergreen social media posts that you approve, and these are posts that can be scheduled via Hootsuite or scheduled by some other tool that we always have posts that are, we like to say evergreen, meaning that they can be reused. So we are never at a lack of content, or we never really need to think too hard around what needs to be posted next to Facebook. Generally our clients, we schedule things out a month in advance, and everything is approved by you. We utilize the calendar, we utilize Hootsuite, a couple other tools, and that just means that you have social media covered. That's not to say that you shouldn't have somebody going to your social profiles and doing interaction and liking and seeing comments and that sort of stuff, but proper planning leads to very strong performance. The next aspect is we grow your social media reach. And how do we do that? Well, we know who we want to connect with. And if you go over to LinkedIn, I'll just show you real quick. I know if I haven't put you to sleep yet. If you go over to LinkedIn, you can click on advanced search. Not too many people use this aspect. I'm a LinkedIn guy. I've built 3 businesses over the last 10, 15 years utilizing LinkedIn, and this is my favorite screen on the internet. But you can see that I can type in any keyword that I want here. I can type in company. I can type in description. I can type in postal code, so pulling in geography. I can pull up, job function. I can pull up industry that I want, experience level, executives, whatever it might be. So I can get extremely granular in terms of the type of people that I want to connect with. And you'll look at that LinkedIn advanced search, and it looks very similar to our target market personas. So my team can go out and collectively, as a group, connect with the target market personas, i.e. your customers, your future customers, and folks that are the leaders in your industry. We can then invite them to groups and interact with them, and export their email addresses and do all kinds of crazy stuff after you build that audience. And we track and measure growth on a monthly basis. So here you can see LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. This is just an example of client data. YouTube, I'm very, very bullish on YouTube, getting company videos, even if they are just shot with a cell phone, just being out in the field, just keeping it real, so to speak, is great content for YouTube. Pinterest, Google Plus, your email subscriber list should continue to grow, and that should be going up and to the right. The last piece of our campaign, or this is just an example of competitive analysis that we've done for another client, is understanding who are the top 10 most influential community members that can help you grow as a company. We know that within social media, the expounding or the ability to have partners who can move your information along is extremely helpful. So an example of an influential community member is maybe a partner of yours who is also a social media community manager for that particular brand, and he or she has a very high cloud score. He or she is very active on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, and occasionally, if we have a press release or something that we need to move along, we would be able to, because we have a relationship, because we've identified, because your accounts are then connected to his or her accounts, we could ask that person to share our information, and we can also return the favor from time to time. So you can imagine that if I flip back to the screen here, throughout over 6 or 8 months, you've gone from a social media reach of say 1,000 to 7,000 on these particular platforms, and it tends to be engaging because you've not only connected with random people, but you've connected with your target market personas because you know where they live. We could ask that person, which we also share the same audience, to share our content with their social media reach, and hopefully they have just as much, if not bigger, social media reach. So that's that compounding effect. And if you have 10 influential community members with high cloud score, you can get a message out to the masses very, very quickly, very, very efficiently through the use of these community members. A little bit advanced, but I always like to mention it. So in summary, I'm pretty excited to work with you on this campaign. I see that there's a lot of opportunity. It seems like it's a strong brand, and if you're willing, I would like to maybe do another follow-up, explore more about your specific needs, your specific questions, answer those, get some of your feedback, and move on to the next step. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.